Yeah.
That's verse 5. Text says that he's an infirmed man.
Yeah.
That's verse 5. The text says he's an impotent man.
Yeah.
That's verse 7.
Yeah.
But we have assumed that he's a lame man. Docs, help me here. And those folks say, look from killer to killer. The text never calls him lame. Because he's sitting when he ought to be standing. We assume that he can't walk. Fifth verse says he's a certain man. Fifth verse says he's an infirm man. The seventh verse calls him an impotent man. But he's never called a lame man. I'll deal with this in just a moment, but I got to chase a rabbit. Allow me to pull out my exegetical rifle and chase a rabbit in the text. I see Jesus say to him, I know who you are and what you're doing. But in spite of knowing who he was, he still takes an interest in who he can be. Love will look at the real you and not become concerned with what you really look like, but only motivated by what you can look like. Aren't you glad you're in John 3:16, serving a John 3:16 kind of God that does not look at your failures and your fumbles, but he looks at your feet. For I know the thoughts that I have towards you, thoughts of peace and not evil, to bring you into an expected end. Real love is knowing the real you, but choosing to love you in spite of you. Here is what he does. He looks at this man who's infirmed, who's a certain man, who's an impotent man, but he doesn't judge him for acting like a lame man. Maybe Jesus understands what we don't understand. It takes the 19th century Austrian neurologist by the name of Sigmund Freud to come to the mic and help us with this. He's the father of psychiatry and psychoanalysis that discovered that a neurological sickness called conversion disorder can cause you to feel like you're lame when you're actually able. They say that this particular conversion disorder can come as a result of something that happens to you so traumatic, and you cannot shake it until it becomes to affect your entire being. In other words, instead of you getting delivered from it, you conform to it, and you start having the same kind of pains and the same kind of symptoms as if you were actually sick. That which was psychological now becomes physical. Here's this man now dealing with this neurological disease. He's dealing with this issue. The text does not say it. He leaves it very vague. We don't understand what the condition was. We don't understand what the calamity was. We don't really understand the symptoms or the sickness, because the text does not give us the specificity, but it does give us the solution. Which says to me, I don't care how big your problem is, God is always bigger than your problems. As a matter of fact, prophesy to somebody and say, neighbor, my God has more promises than you got problems. I don't care what you go through, he has the power to snatch you down the earth. Reason I love this, when I found it, like, I'm just about done. I'm like an old truck. Take me a while to get cranked, but when I crank up, I run, baby, run. Reason I'm excited about the text is it confronts something that the 21st century has ignored. We love the physical because it denotes the possibility and the potential for the miraculous. We love to deal with the financial because it gives us the possibility of being better than where we are and living better than what we've lived. But the one thing we constantly ignore is the psychological. The church has been healed of everything from AIDS to cancer, but the one thing that we're still troubled in is our mind.